This question comes from Alex, who asks, what if all the ice on Earth melted overnight?
At first, it sounds like a nightmare scenario, but the reality would be even stranger and more extreme than most people imagine.
Earth's ice is found in two main places, the polar ice caps and glaciers. Antarctica and Greenland alone hold about 99% of all the fresh water locked in ice. If it all melted at once, sea levels would rise by roughly 70 meters, or about 230 feet. That's enough to completely submerge most coastal cities, including New York, London, Tokyo, and Mumbai. But flooding isn't the only effect. The sudden addition of so much fresh water would drastically alter ocean currents. The thermohaline circulation, also known as the global conveyor belt, relies on the density differences between salty and fresh water to drive currents. If this balance is disrupted, the Gulf Stream could slow or even stop, drastically changing climates in Europe, North America, and beyond. The atmosphere would react too. Warmer oceans would release more heat and moisture into the air, intensifying storms. Hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons could become stronger and more frequent. Coastal regions wouldn't just face flooding, they'd face a relentless bombardment of extreme weather events. Inland, ecosystems would struggle to survive. Freshwater from melted ice would initially flood rivers and lakes, then stagnate as it spread across the landscape. Plants and animals adapted to stable water levels could die off quickly. Species in polar regions, already under stress, would lose their habitats entirely. The sudden loss of ice also means the loss of a major reflector of sunlight. Ice reflects sunlight back into space, helping to keep the planet cool. Without it, Earth's surface would absorb far more heat, accelerating global warming. Temperatures could spike dramatically, causing heat waves in places that have never experienced them before. Even human infrastructure would be under threat. Roads, bridges, and buildings near coasts would collapse under rising waters. Ports, airports, and power plants would be inundated. Freshwater supplies could become contaminated, creating public health crises.
On a geological level, the sudden melting of massive ice sheets would affect the Earth's crust. Glaciers weigh down the land, and when they disappear, the crust rebounds, a process called isostatic rebound.
This could trigger earthquakes and even volcanic eruptions in previously stable regions. The planet itself would shift in response to the loss of all that ice. Some surprising consequences might follow. New shipping routes in previously frozen Arctic waters could open up. Regions that were once uninhabitable due to ice might become accessible for agriculture or settlement. However, these benefits are overshadowed by the chaos of rising seas, violent storms, and disrupted ecosystems. Economically, the damage would be unprecedented. Cities underwater, farmland lost, and infrastructure destroyed would cost trillions to rebuild. Insurance systems and governments would struggle to respond to the widespread disaster. Mass migrations of displaced populations could create global humanitarian crises. Life on Earth would adapt eventually. Some species would evolve or migrate to new areas. Humans might build floating cities or relocate inland, and new weather patterns would stabilize over decades. But the planet would never look the same. The world would be hotter, wetter, and far more unpredictable than before. So, what if all the ice on Earth melted overnight? Coasts would disappear, climates would shift, ecosystems would collapse, and the very shape of our planet would change. It's a stark reminder of how integral ice is to life on Earth, not just as water, but as a regulator of climate, sea levels, and planetary stability. In the end, losing all ice instantly would turn Earth into a drastically different world, a place where survival depends on adapting to the new, chaotic balance of nature.